shock and hazard. Okay, let's go straight across to my colleague who's joining us right now. We have with us Akansha. Akansha, I'm coming across to you right now. Now, what we see is something very shocking. It's a nightmare for anybody to open their kulfi, open their ice cream and see cockroaches or lizards or any other parasite or insect. If you could take our viewers through exactly what's happened so far, any kind of update in terms of the food safety regulations which have been violated?
Absolutely, Shivangi. You see, there's public outrage. In fact, people of Sundar Nagar in Ludhiana, they are seething with anger after this 7-year-old boy, he found lizard in his ice cream that he bought from a man with a shop named Milk Bell. In fact, let me take you through the sequence of events. In fact, one 7-year-old went to buy ice cream. He bought 2 ice creams for 20 rupees from a vendor named Milk Bell. In fact, when he went to house, he found lizard in that ice cream. He told his grandmother about it. Grandmother, along with several people of the locality, they went and confronted the street vendor, but he shrugged off all the responsibility. All of them then filed a complaint with the health officials of that area, that is Sundar Nagar area of Ludhiana. And after that, raids were conducted at this facility where this ice cream was made, and there were several serious lapses that were found in that area where ice creams in fact were made. And after that, now what we are learning is that a challan has also been imposed on that specific company which was manufacturing this ice cream. But definitely this raises a lot of questions about the lapses and also the health consequences as far as finding such things in the ice cream are concerned. Very shocking for that 7-year-old to find lizard in his ice cream.
That's right. Thank you, Akash, for giving those details. And the health department also saying very, very clearly that please check the expiration dates of your products and ice creams before consuming them or eating them. Also saying and raiding other ice cream units all across Ludhiana. Thank you for getting those details for us. We're getting some breaking news coming in right now. Okay, let's go ahead to the big breaking updates coming in. Elon Musk says he's sorry about his post about President Trump. Okay, a huge update coming in right now, viewers. And I just want to tell our viewers that we saw a huge fallout on social media between Trump and Elon Musk. And post that, we see that Elon Musk has said that I went too far with my posts. 4 days into the fallout, the public feud we have seen between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, Elon Musk is saying that I regret my post about President Trump. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, their fight was for the entire world to see. The tensions between the two exploded into public view in the middle of last week. Each of them leveling allegations and barbs against the other. And 4 days into this feud, we see that Musk has finally said I went too far with my post. So these are some back-to-back updates coming in right now on Republic TV. Let's go ahead and see exactly what that post on social media looks like. So Elon Musk says, and I quote, I regret some of my posts about President Trump. Last week they went too far. And let's go straight across to my colleague who's joining us right now, Kuthar from our Republic newsroom. Kuthar, what we see is that Elon Musk apologizing, something unexpected because we saw the kind of allegations that he had put on Donald Trump, Epstein files, much more, the exchange barbs. What happened, Kuthar? It looks like Musk is now bowing down.
Indeed, and it's an extremely turbulent relationship between US President Donald Trump and Elon Musk at the moment when the world's richest man went in a bout on social media platform, nonetheless, with the most powerful man on planet Earth, the US President. Now, in a massive U-turn, Elon Musk seems to have retracted his comments. Now, this was something that was very much expected. In fact, a couple of days ago, we also saw that Elon Musk firstly deleted the Epstein tweet that was the part of the controversy, and then subsequently now a statement coming in wherein he says that he regrets the statements that he made. Now, there is a lot of background coming into this entire situation. There was also an article planted in Western media that attempted to suggest that Elon Musk was addicted to substances and he was always on substances while putting out such messages, and that is the reason that he was speaking quite erratically. That was one part of it, and so there were some sources that were saying that perhaps that story was planted by somebody in the administration. So it was a very bitter affair that went on onto the social media platform, which emerged into an all-out spat between Trump and Elon Musk. And Elon Musk did cross a line, and he very willingly did so when he tweeted out that this is a time for a bombshell when he said and alleged that Donald Trump's name is in the Jeffrey Epstein files. For our viewers, for more context, Jeffrey Epstein was a sexual offender who was convicted of child sex assault in the United States, and there was a huge dossier or Jeffrey Epstein infamous files that are presumed to have a lot of names of celebrities in there. And Elon Musk went on to say that perhaps Trump's name was in those files, and that is why the administration was never making them public ever since 2019, when Epstein died under suspicious circumstances in the United States. Now Elon Musk has retracted those tweets. At the time when he posted that, he said, mark this for history, it will come to use someday, and now he has retracted those statements just within a week's time. That shows the amount of pressure that the US President's office perhaps exerts. Yesterday we saw Trump saying that it was not a disrespect of him personally, but the office of the President of the United States itself. It's a very turbulent time in the United States when the Los Angeles riots are also putting a lot of pressure on the Trump administration at a time. Whether Elon Musk is trying to make a U-turn, whether he's trying to come back to the good graces of the administration, is something that remains to be seen. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Pratap, for getting those details for our viewers, where we see that it's a surprising turn of events as well. We see both Trump and Elon Musk going ahead and stepping back from this highly publicized fight we saw on social media. Okay, let's move ahead right now. We're getting some more updates coming in. A ringing endorsement for Prime Minister Modi from Washington, as former Pentagon official Michael Rubin has now hailed Modi as one of the world's most influential statesmen. He says even critics must admit to Modi's strategic magnanimity and power, especially in re-engaging with Canada, showing strength and vision on the global stage. Here's a quick report. Take a look.
I think that's absolutely true. Look, even Prime Minister Modi's critics will acknowledge that he has grown tremendously in office so that he's now one of the most influential statesmen, not only in Asia, but in the world. The fact of the matter is, this magnanimity is strategic, and it also forces the Canadians to recognize that the problem all along was in Canada and not with India. So kudos to Prime Minister Modi for this strategy and for rejoining and agreeing to go to Alberta. And the fact of the matter is that a strong relationship between India and all of North America is within everybody's interest, especially given the rise of China.
And viewers, we go to the US now because we see that mass arrests are happening in Los Angeles. Remember that Los Angeles has seen a lot of chaotic scenes after a partial curfew was announced in the downtown LA area from 8 p.m. on Tuesday to 6 a.m. on Wednesday, after reports of loot at about 23 businesses, and violence has struck various parts of the city amid the ongoing protests and demonstrations which we are seeing against the immigration raids by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So this is what we see right now. And in the latest coming in, we see that there has been more updates in terms of even Marines. I repeat, Trump administration has deployed Marines to Los Angeles and has also vowed to intensify the migrant raids. We also have some reactions coming in. Let's go ahead and play it out.
Within the span of a few decades, Los Angeles has gone from being one of the cleanest, safest, and most beautiful cities on earth to being a trash heap with entire neighborhoods under the control of transnational gangs and criminal networks. It's horrible what's happened so quickly. As the entire world can now see, uncontrolled migration leads to chaos, dysfunction, and disorder. And you know what? They have it in Europe, too. It's happening in many of the countries of Europe. They don't like it when I say it, but I'll say it loudly and clearly. They better do something before it's too late. Very simply, we will liberate Los Angeles and make it free, clean, and safe again. It's happening very quickly.
I wanted to let the city know that I have declared a local emergency and issued a curfew for downtown Los Angeles to stop the vandalism, to stop the looting. Many businesses have now been affected by or vandalized. Last night, there were 23 businesses that were looted, and I think that if you drive through downtown LA, the graffiti is everywhere and has caused significant damages to businesses and a number of properties.
And viewers, more show coming right up. We are live and breaking. Security forces are launching extensive search operations in Sambal district in Jammu. Stay tuned.
मेरी नई हुंडई एक्स्ट्रा तुमने भी तो कल नई कार ली है ना, उसमें भी तो होगा ना ये वॉइस इनेबल सनरूफ
है ना अंकल, सिंगर इनेबल सनरूफ।
और बेनिफिट्स ये तो मिले होंगे ना।
ये मिला।
हाँ, हुंडई कार्स पर मिल रही है अमेजिंग डील्स। वैसे लोगे तो आप हुंडई ही, चाहे दिल की सुनो या डील्स की।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Can I take that to General Bakshi? General Bakshi, a lot of you were interested in this, picking up as we are sharing details of the story. Imagine, sir, 1,803 containers of dangerous, hazardous, inflammable, potentially explosive building material, right? Shipping companies' estimate says there are only 1,754. The difference is 49 containers of this kind of material smuggled into India, suppose, or unaccounted for. What would be the implications?
Arnab, on the face of it, this... you are absolutely right. On the face of it, this is a very worrying incident. And I do not think we can take things just at the face value. So much of hazardous material, hazmat, on one ship. Nitrocellulose, from my knowledge, military knowledge, nitrocellulose is one of the key components of explosives. You know, and who were the consignees? If it is coming to Nhava Sheva port, imagine this happening in the port, Arnab. One of the greatest, terror on the high seas, the nightmare scenario is that a ship with such hazmat material comes inside the port and somebody lets it off. You can imagine the kind of, it's a time bomb, which is being driven into your port. And the other, very dangerous thing is that if they try and use a ship to ram, if it is carrying such hazardous, cargo, such hazardous material, nitrocellulose, my God, then bunker oil. You can't ask for a better cocktail to set a whole harbor on fire.
Would it be normal with this kind of hazardous material, these thousands and thousands of tons of very hazardous material, dangerous material to go to the Nhava Sheva post? And why is there also not clarity as to who was supposed to receive all this?
No, Arnab, sometimes...
We don't just get you the headlines, we report on them. We get information from the highest level of sources. We get you news from the men in uniform, from those on the front. At Republic School of Journalism, you will learn how real reporting is done on the ground and in real time. The RSG Diploma course begins on June 30th. If you want to lead the story, start here.
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुलें तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबां में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबां कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबां कैसी?
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी
जल जीरा मसाला।
भैया मेरा बच्चा कभी ऐसा काम नहीं कर सकता, मेरा बच्चा कभी ऐसा काम नहीं कर सकता भैया, कभी ऐसा काम नहीं सकता। 20 साल की उसकी उम्र है भैया। जब से हम सुना 3 दिन से हम पानी नहीं पिए, जब से मेरा बच्चा गया परसों के दिन से। बेकसूर है वो लोग, कभी ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, कभी भी नहीं। वो दोनों ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, विक्की और राज, वही दोनों मेरे भैया, वो दोनों ऐसे कभी नहीं कर सकते अंकल। भैया मेरा बच्चा कभी ऐसा काम नहीं कर सकता, मेरा बच्चा कभी ऐसा काम नहीं कर सकता भैया, कभी ऐसा काम नहीं सकता। 20 साल की उसकी उम्र है भैया। जब से हम सुना 3 दिन से हम पानी नहीं पिए, जब से मेरा बच्चा गया परसों के दिन से। ना मेरी बच्चियां, ना मेरी बच्ची छोटी वाली गिर के बेहोश हो जाती है। हमारा भाई जिम्मेदार है, वही हमारा सब कुछ था। हमारे पति शांत हो गए भैया, इकलौता बेटा था और मेरे कोई आगे पीछे नहीं भैया।
तो आप उनकी माँ से कोई बातचीत करते थे?
आप भैया कोई ना काम करता तो सोनम के भाई के यहाँ काम करता, तो वो भी वही फैक्ट्री में वो भी काम करती थी। अब काम करने में आप भी तो बात करोगे, कोई बात करेगा तो तुम भी बात करोगे। झूठा फंसा दिया भैया मेरे बच्चे को। 20 साल के बच्चे से कहाँ कार करता है, वो ऐसा बच्चा है भैया जैसे सब्जी कोई बेचता ना और उसके पैर में जूता चप्पल न हो, देख लेता तो अपने चप्पल जूता उतार के दे देता था। नंगे पैर आता तो मैं खूब चिल्लाती थी, मैं बोलती थी मैं खाना नहीं दूंगी, तेरे को चप्पल ला के नहीं दूंगी, मेरे पास नहीं, कहाँ से लाऊं, फिर भी दे के आ जाता था।
बेकसूर है वो लोग, कभी ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, कभी भी नहीं। वो दोनों ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, विक्की और राज, वही दोनों मेरे भैया, वो दोनों ऐसे कभी नहीं कर सकते अंकल।
यहीं थे जब घटना हुई?
हाँ भैया यहीं थे भैया, वहाँ पे नहीं, कहीं भी बाहर नहीं। आप ऑफिस वालों से पूछो ना, वो रोज ऑफिस जाते थे, गोडाउन जाते थे, वो ऐसा नहीं कर सकते।
क्या मांग करेंगे?
उनके साथ पूरी फैमिली है, लेकिन हमारे साथ कोई नहीं है। हमारे भाई का अलावा फंसाया जा रहा है, मेरे भाई ने ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया। गाजीपुर की नहीं है, बहुत सारे गाजीपुर है, पता नहीं दीदी कौन से गाजीपुर से मिली है, हम लोगों को तो नहीं पता ना।
आप कौन से वाले गाजीपुर से?
हम लोग फतेहपुर के पास जो गाजीपुर है हम वहाँ के।
Summer is here. Is your home ready for the heat? Keep your roof cool and your home comfortable all summer with Roof Cool and Seal. पसीना मत बहाओ, बर्जर रूफ कूल एंड सील लगाओ।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Krutat Patnaik, at 1 p.m. this Wednesday afternoon. Our top story from the national capital of Delhi remains a very terrific tragedy that has occurred in the Dwarka area of Delhi, where a family of 3 lost their life after an unfortunate fire on the 8th and 9th floor of a residential building. What were the lapses and negligence? We'll get into that. Our second story remains a big fight emerging between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party over a demolition drive that is underway in Delhi's Kalkaji. I'll bring you all the details on those stories in just a moment, but as always, let's start this live and breaking bulletin with the headlines. Pakistani national extradited from Canada to the United States on charges in connection to plotting a terrorist attack inspired by ISIS in a mass shooting format in New York.
पाकिस्तान को काउंटर टेररिज्म पैनल का वाइस चेयर और यानी उपाध्यक्ष बनाया जा रहा है। इससे बड़े दुर्भाग्य की बात क्या हो सकती है? आज मैं इस फोरम से कहना चाहता हूं कि इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी को इसका कॉग्निजेंस लेना चाहिए।
Defense Minister Rajnath Singh slams United Nations for appointing Pakistan as vice chair of its counter-terrorism committee. Calls it like making a cat guard the milk. Public outrage after cockroach found in patient's food inside a private hospital in Noida.
कोर्ट का ऑर्डर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की डीडीए और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की दिल्ली सरकार लेके आई है। ये गरीब लोग कोर्ट गए और भाजपा की डीडीए, भाजपा की दिल्ली सरकार, भाजपा की डूसिप ने वहां खड़ा होकर इन गरीबों का विरोध किया, कहा कि हम इन्हें घर नहीं देंगे और कोर्ट को कहा कि इनकी झुग्गी तोड़ दी जाए।
Big demolition drive underway in Bhumihin camps in Delhi's Kalkaji. Atishi on spot to shield encroachers. Security forces launch extensive search operations in Nud area of Samba district in Jammu and Kashmir. Los Angeles mayor imposes overnight curfew on downtown as protests and violence continues to spread. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top updates coming in from the United States of America, where a Pakistani national was extradited from Canada to the US to face federal terrorism charges after allegedly plotting a mass shooting at a Jewish center in Brooklyn in support of ISIS. The name of this Pakistani national is Mohammad Shehbaz Khan. His alias is Mohammad Jadoon. He was arrested near the US-Canada border last year before he was attempting to arrive in New York, and he has now arrived in New York earlier this week after facing extradition. Now, according to the Department of Justice of the United States, Khan aimed to carry out a deadly assault using an AR-style rifle and knives, telling undercover operatives that he wanted to kill as many Jewish civilians as possible. This was a big dastardly attack that was planned and targeted towards the Jewish community, specifically civilians in the New York City. And now Canada has officially extradited this Pakistani national on your screen to the United States after the Justice Department intervened in the entire matter. But a big Pakistan terror nexus again emerging in US and Canada. That's the big breaking news update that we're tracking at this moment, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, more defense updates coming in from India, where Defense Minister Rajnath Singh sharply criticized the United Nations for appointing Pakistan as the vice chair of its counter-terrorism committee, calling it akin to asking a cat to guard the milk. He further questioned how a country that has sheltered Osama bin Laden, the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks, could be trusted to lead global efforts against terrorism. Now, on one hand, you have US extraditing a Pakistani national from Canada back to the United States for plotting a terrorist attack against the Jewish community in New York. On the other hand, Rajnath Singh is mounting the attack directly on the United Nations, questioning the intents of UN appointing Pakistan as the vice chair of the counter-terrorism committee. Listen into what Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said earlier today.
आज दुर्भाग्यवश हाल के वर्षों में यूनाइटेड नेशन ने के कई निर्णयों पर सवालिया निशान लग रहे हैं। साथियों, सबसे हालिया उदाहरण है कि संयुक्त राष्ट्र सुरक्षा परिषद द्वारा पाकिस्तान को काउंटर टेररिज्म पैनल का वाइस चेयर यानी उपाध्यक्ष बनाया गया है। और हैरानी की बात यह है कि यह काउंटर टेररिज्म पैनल 9/11 हमले के बाद गठित किया गया था और हम जब जानते हैं कि 9/11 का हमला किसने किया था, और यह भी किसी से छिपा नहीं है कि उस हमले के मास्टरमाइंड को पाकिस्तान ने शरण दी थी। यह तो एक तरह से बिल्ली से दूध की रखवाली करवाने वाली बात है मित्रों। और पाकिस्तान को काउंटर टेररिज्म पैनल का वाइस चेयर और यानी उपाध्यक्ष बनाया जा रहा है। इससे बड़े दुर्भाग्य की बात क्या हो सकती है? आज मैं इस फोरम से कहना चाहता हूं कि इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी को इसका कॉग्निजेंस लेना चाहिए। यह निर्णय न केवल चौंकाने वाला है, बल्कि मैं मानता हूं कि आतंकवाद के मुद्दे पर संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ जैसी संस्था की गंभीरता पर यह गहरा प्रश्न चिन्ह भी लगाता है। यह कैसे भुलाया जा सकता है? क्या वही पाकिस्तान है जिसकी जमीन का इस्तेमाल वैश्विक आतंकवादी संगठनों की पनाहगाह के रूप में बराबर होता रहा है? और साथियों, यह वही देश है जहां हाफिज सईद और मसूद अजहर जैसे घोषित आतंकवादी खुलेआम घूमते हैं और जहर उगलते हैं। और उस पाकिस्तान का कोई व्यक्ति वाइस चेयर बनता है यूनाइटेड नेशंस में जाकर, जहां आतंकवादियों के जनाजे में पाकिस्तान आर्मी के बड़े अफसर फातिहा पढ़ते नजर आते हैं। अब उसी पाकिस्तान से उम्मीद की जा रही है कि वह आतंकवाद के खिलाफ वैश्विक समुदाय का नेतृत्व करेगा। यह किसी क्रूर मजाक से कम नहीं है। यह अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यवस्था की नीयत और नीतियों दोनों पर गहरे सवाल खड़े करता है। और यह आतंकवाद के खिलाफ वैश्विक लड़ाई का मैं मानता हूं उपहास है, मजाक है। और मैं समझता हूं कि ग्लोबल कम्युनिटी और यूनाइटेड नेशंस जैसी संस्थाओं को आतंकवाद जैसे मुद्दों पर और भी गंभीरता से सोचने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि आतंकवाद के पर अगर नहीं कतरे गए तो आज नहीं कल पूरी दुनिया प्रभावित होकर रहेगी।
Well, that was Defense Minister Rajnath Singh once again pointing out the irony in the efforts of the United Nations to counter terrorism across the world. Meanwhile, the high-powered delegations, the all-party delegations that India had sent to 32 nations are back home after their diplomatic outreach missions across Europe and across the world. Led by senior MP, one of the delegations that was by BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad, the team visited 6 nations to present India's position on cross-border terrorism after the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack. And in a strong message, Ravi Shankar Prasad has taken on Pakistan, accusing its generals of using terror to stay relevant. Listen into that fiery retort of Ravi Shankar Prasad.
A multi-party delegation which visited 6 European countries to convey India's position on terrorism has returned home. Addressing a press conference in Delhi, BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad, who led the delegation, said India's stand on the April 22nd Pahalgam terror strike and Operation Sindoor was appreciated by the foreign interlocutors. Ravi Shankar Prasad also accused the Pakistani generals of using terrorists as proxy to make themselves relevant. The 9-member delegation, which visited France, Italy, Denmark, the UK, Belgium and Germany from May 25th to June 7th, has finally returned home.
4 बार हम कन्वेंशनल युद्ध लड़ चुके हैं। We have fought 4 conventional wars: 48, 65, 71 and Kargil War in 99. इन चारों में हम एग्रेसर कभी नहीं थे। हमने जवाब दिया और उन्होंने भी क्लैरिफाई किया कि हम लोग पाकिस्तान की जनता के खिलाफ नहीं हैं। समस्या वहां के जनरल्स हैं, जिससे पाकिस्तान की जनता भी त्रस्त है। हमने उन लोगों को एक विशेष तो बताया कि पाकिस्तान इज नॉट ओनली ए स्टेट इन डिनायल, लेकिन पाकिस्तान में मिलिट्री टेररिस्ट नेक्सस जो है, ये बहुत बड़ा डेडली एक्सप्लोसिव कॉम्बिनेशन बना है। ये जो पाकिस्तान का जो नया सेटअप है, उसमें वो आतंकवाद को प्रॉक्सी के रूप में यूज करते हैं। और क्यों यूज करते हैं? कि युद्ध होगा, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होगा तो जनरल की विश्वसनीयता बनी रहेगी, इसलिए कभी शांति नहीं हो पाती।
The delegation also met Prime Minister Modi at his 7 LKM residence in the national capital last evening.
Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, a big breaking news update is coming in from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Security forces have launched an extensive search operation in the Nud area of the Samba district in Jammu, particularly near the Navodaya school, after locals reported spotting 2 suspects in combat dresses on Monday night. Acting swiftly, the Jammu and Kashmir police along with the Indian Army initiated a joint operation. That was a search operation that was launched earlier this morning. And to trace the suspected individuals, earlier last morning, the operation was launched and the security of the area has been heightened. Now the entire area has been secured as an alert has been issued. My colleague Gursimran joins us from Jammu with more details on that story. Gursimran, what's the latest on the search and cordon operations underway presently in the Samba district?
See, the search operation continues by the Indian Army as well as the Jammu and Kashmir police. It was based on some locals spotting 2 suspects that were in the combat dress, after which it was informed to the territorial army that was deployed in the area. It was around 9-10 late last evening when the incident was reported, and it was close to Navodaya Vidyalaya school that is in the Nud area, after which the search operations, large-scale search operations were launched early this morning with the first light, and so far nothing has been found. This has been a traditional infiltration route, and that's why the security forces are leaving nothing at chance. They want to ensure that if there is a movement of the terrorists, those who want to cross over from this area, that can be neutralized at an earliest, because there has been a presence of the terrorists in the area, and the inputs suggest so that Pakistani terrorists will try to foment the trouble right ahead of the Amarnath Yatra that is slated to take place between the 3rd of July to 9th of August. So keeping that in view, the search operation was launched, and as we speak, the searches are underway in the area.
Thank you very much, Gursimran, for those details coming in from the Samba district. We'll be closely monitoring, ladies and gentlemen, the search and cordon operations underway in Jammu. Meanwhile, shifting our focus now to more international stories, most importantly, the United States of America, where Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has announced a partial curfew in downtown Los Angeles area from 8 p.m. on Tuesday onwards to 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning, after reports of loot of over 23 businesses and violence in the city amid the ongoing protests and demonstrations against the anti-immigration raids by the U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, that is the ICE. As the protest entered its 5th day, US President Donald Trump has said that the protests were an assault on peace and public order, and he had doubled down, in fact, on deploying troops to the city. As of now, the information that is available to us, US Marines, which are the elite special forces of the United States Army, are deployed in Los Angeles. It is an unprecedented situation. In fact, the National Guard also was deployed in the United States. The National Guard is like a Federal Reserve Police, which is under the directive of the governor of the state of California. However, overriding the powers of the governor, the US president exercised their powers, and the National Guard was deployed in Los Angeles, as well as the US Army's Marines were in fact deployed in Los Angeles. And this is an unprecedented situation where such a heavy armed deployment has taken place against protests that turned violent about 5 days ago, and they continue to remain violent in Los Angeles. Now, a curfew has been imposed in the downtown area, which is the main city center, the heart of Los Angeles. Why? Because last night, as you see the visuals on your screen, there was massive arson, there was massive looting. Stores were looted, mobile phones were looted from the stores there, and there was massive violence happening after a massive anti-immigration operation was launched by Trump. So basically, the Trump administration sent the ICE, which is the main authority for immigrants and illegal immigrants, and when they started their operation in Los Angeles to remove the illegal immigrants from there and deport them, which is under the policy of the US President Donald Trump, the protests turned extremely violent. That is the main concern at the moment. Tensions have remained extremely high between the California governor, who is like the chief minister equivalent of that state, and Donald Trump, both of them fighting on who has authority to maintain law and order. The governor of California has in fact gone on to the courts, and he is trying to sue Donald Trump for the actions taken of deploying the forces. These are some visuals of anarchy that are coming from Los Angeles.